I'm doing things that I never do, specifically because this addressable setup has won my heart. I'm actually really into it. Let's talk. My last video, I was talking about addressable LEDs and the reason I don't use those on my GTR builds, but I'm gonna show you some stuff that I did for the very first time to build these Hyundai Veloster lights using some RGB addressable LEDs, and I gotta tell you, I'm kind of in love. So I was on Amazon, I bought a roll of lights from BTF Lighting, and those things came through. I got what I expected to get from Amazon. I also got some of these bad boys from Automotive Custom Lighting. Actually, they were sold out because they're so dope and everybody already bought them. I had to reach out to Dime Designs, and he actually sent me some of these and some other stuff that you saw in the last video. I'm gonna chop these things up and show you what it looked like as I completely went DIY and individually mounted these LEDs to make that build. We're gonna talk a little bit more about what I think from this process of just learning about addressable LEDs. To the beach, and you don't stop. Fly with y'all, to the beach, wait. I met this girl. So this is the running light, and I need to change the type of LED until this changes to amber. That will tell us that we have the right setup. That's definitely not it. That's kind of it. That is really orange though. Come on, baby, work. Ah, where are you at? Why aren't you working? Okay, messed up. I made one simple little error. It says BI and DI. I don't know what B is, but I know the D stands for data, and so because I have wires coming in right here, and it says data in, and then look right there. Instead of data out, I swapped over to that BI or whatever, and then or BO, and now the whole freaking thing, one wire's off all the way around. So I've made it to where the LEDs stop powering up. This one powers up, I don't really know why, but after that, that's it. So I'm gonna change up a bunch of different little solder connections, and then after that we'll have our full circle. It'll be dope. So there's a lot of different things that we can do with it now, but the fact that we've got all those individual addressable RGB 12-volt LEDs on the back, and this means we've got kind of endless control. So if I want to start changing this is called popcorn. I'm not really into popcorn. Starfall, I thought was pretty cool. Builder, there you go. This is very much like the sequential kind of 28 channel Ghozt controller. So yeah, there's a lot of crazy different stuff. Kaleidoscope, that looks pretty crazy. There's just wild stuff happening. Raid, there you go. That's interesting. I feel like it should be more continuous, like it should look more together, but it doesn't. I'm looking at it like it's going.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't feel like it is though. Is it just me? I don't know. I feel like the.
Maybe it's too.
Oh, I know why. It's because we got all these guys down here.
Yeah.
All these extra LEDs. That looks right. Okay. Cool.
Oh, I see.
So those guys are throwing it way off. That's cool.
Explain that.
Okay, so we've got about, if I'm looking at this right, I see about 8 or 9 LEDs after the point of the usable LEDs that we have on there. And so you've got this kind of inconsistency where as soon as red gets to the very end right here, then it should start turning this red. But there's this little delay, and it doesn't make it seem like it's flowing from this all the way down and perfectly into that circle. But if we actually move this guy over and take a look at those, Now it definitely flows right from one to the next. All right, so like you saw in that video, I was working with these little individual LEDs. Now these don't need heat sinks or anything like that, and they're 12 volts versus 5 volts. So that does bring something up to mind. People I want to say that they're just smarter than me. These way smarter than me guys have done a better job talking about very specific individual bits of information that I'm not going to talk about right now. I'm just saying like the overall view of addressable LEDs. But I want you to have access to this wealth of knowledge that already exists out there. So I'm going to link below these 2 different articles and I'm going to tell you about them right now. The first of those articles is from Kyle at Ghozt. So I always gush about Dan and Kyle at ghostlighting.com. Go on their website, buy stuff, use promo code FlyRyde. It's all good. You save money. I feel good because these guys deserve to win. They've changed the game in automotive lighting. And just thank you, you two, if you watch this. I appreciate you big time. So Kyle, being the genius NASA guy that I always talk about him being, wrote a really dope article about all kinds of different aspects of addressable RGBs, things to consider as you're building them for automotive specifically, all right? So I do want you to go check out that link as well, and I'm gonna talk about the other guy. He actually has a YouTube video which we can link up. I honestly, I'm gonna try to remember this, then I'm gonna mess it up, so I'm just gonna tell you, it's so new to me that I don't even know the weird little names of these strips, but so the most common strip that I see, the one that I accidentally bought, and I should have bought the other one, was the WS2812B. That's so nerd-tastic that I don't know, I'm a pretty big geek, I'll eventually remember. That's the type of roll that is everywhere, right? And then there's also another type of roll, the SK6812. A lot of my buddies have recommended that because of heat issues in the automotive applications, you know, sealed inside of headlights. It's different than putting them in your cool little dorky computer room, right? And I say all the dorky stuff because it's me. I'm talking about my dorkiness, all right? Don't feel too bad about yourself if you're just like me. Anyway, I don't even know the first guy's name, but he wrote that really dope article. So go check out the hookup on his website. Check out his YouTube channel as well. I got a lot of information. He compared all the different stuff from the same company, from BTF Lighting. They sent him a bunch of the different types of rolls he tested. He did a bunch of stuff that, to be honest with you, I don't want to do. He already did it all. I don't want, you're not gonna care, right? Let's just talk a little bit more about why I think that this stuff makes so much sense for certain things in the automotive world and how I've taken probably a different approach than a lot of other people would have. Okay, so this is the set. I didn't know that I was gonna care so much about this. I've had this in the works for a year, a solid year, and I've been building these for my buddy Corey. So Corey, huge shout out. I'm so glad that you're excited about it. But check it out. What I've done is I've actually modified the factory LED section, the little housing down here, but I didn't remove the factory LEDs. So if you can see, they're way down in there. I'm gonna have to put this thing on 4K so we can zoom in. So those little LEDs way down in there are the factory white LEDs. And so what I did, instead of completely chopping those things out and then having the addressable RGBs in there, the top part of where the factory LEDs mount to this little chrome housing, it's got all these little reflectors in there. It has where you can see the reflectors from all the angles from in front of the car. The only one angle that you're never gonna look at those reflectors is from the ground aiming up. So I chopped the roof off of them, and then I just laid all of those individual RGB addressable chips from Automotive Custom Lighting right on top, aiming straight down into the reflector. So basically, you've got factory LED going this way, and then the ACL RGB addressable LED aiming perpendicular to that, straight down into that reflector, getting a lot of light. So you might be asking yourself, Chris, why do you have such an amazing box in the background with those crazy lights inside of them? And the answer is because of BoxoUSA. I'm actually crazy pumped about this. Yesterday, I got delivered my own box exactly like that, as well as this one that's gonna be used for the company to take to trade shows and set next to the truck that we're doing some awesome XK glow products on, including rock lights and the little LED image projectors. Boxo hooked it up with a sick box. They're also gonna hook you up. So I got a promo code FlyRyde on BoxoUSA for this specific product. I have zero clue the details on how much, but my guess is because it's already on sale, plus that promo code, you're probably gonna get the best price you could ever get on that box. It's got locking drawers. It's super dope. I'm into it. We'll talk more about that in future videos, but I just wanted to explain. Anyway, you better subscribe. If you're not subscribed, start now. Hit that subscribe button and definitely hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future uploads and promo codes and all the good things. Okay, let's get back to it. I think it looks legit. Like I'm pretty pumped about it. So the fun thing is I recorded all kinds of stuff about the process. I'm gonna put this all together and just basically make it one big package for this Hyundai Veloster setup. Because we did some really special things for Corey, including hydro dip. We stripped all the chrome and turned it all black. And then this addressable stuff, me and Jonathan were talking about it earlier. I don't think we would have liked it nearly as much if it was just the ring. But even that ring, it was like it was made for it. I removed the factory LEDs and I individually placed those little LEDs like you saw at the very beginning of the video, and then just routed all the wires through. And I mean, I learned so much stuff by doing this, and I wasn't necessarily supposed to be doing this as my priority this week, but it just kept pulling me in because it was like fascinating as I kept going, and I kept screwing up a whole bunch. So let's talk about a couple little tips for you as you're working your way through, if you do what I do and you chop up a bunch of LEDs and place them individually. So I reached out to a couple of pros. I'm gonna drop some of Jason's stuff in here. Jason Blair from Sinister J, he's my boy. You always hear me talking about him in Discord and everywhere else. I asked him, I was like, what are some things that you wish you knew about Addressable before you got started with them? And like, what are some things that you could just maybe lay some value on to the viewers that are watching this stuff so that maybe you could save them some headaches? And he just said, pick your customers wisely. I understand that. I think I'm just gonna go a little side shoot here. People see blinky color changing unicorn lights and they're like, take my money. That does not mean you should take their money. Choose your customers wisely. That guy might be an idiot. Don't take the idiot's money, because if he can't even understand what he's buying, and then he's gonna get the thing and not understand how to use it and make your life suck because he bought something that's way above his head, like, that's your fault. You shouldn't have taken his money. So Jay says, and I agree with him, pick your customers wisely. He says, be prepared for failures. And Jay is actually somebody who's gone way out of his way to make awesome solutions for these problems. It's like, he's had failures and he's had to learn about it, and he's had to go and make his own product so that he can avoid those failures, such as little heat sinks that are attached to these addressable RGB chips, knowing that they're the legit chip, not the one that's on the China roll that everybody buys from Amazon. Like, my God, every time I start looking more and more at what Jay does, I'm like, bro, you are so good. It's crazy. Like, this guy is a craftsman, right? And so many of you guys are craftsmen as well. And that's why I like to share this information, because if you go build something amazing just because you found out about it because of this channel and this video, maybe, like, share with me, because I'm always blown away by it. And here's me, project 1, learning. I'm just in it with you. So don't think I have all the answers. I don't know most of these things, which is why I reached out to smart people like Jay. He says, Permaseal is the devil. I agree with that. So a lot of people are gonna hit you up to do jobs like this on something that is permasealed as opposed to sealed with butyl, like these Veloster lights were, and they were even a pain to deal with because they're so massive. So I've got videos about that. We'll talk more about that stuff later. And then the last thing that he said was under promise, over deliver. I think those are just wise words to live by in any form of custom lighting. Is don't tell somebody that you're gonna do a project that you know in the ideal situation would take you 40 hours, because it'll probably take you 120 hours. Jay can tell you that. The other builders, Dime Designs, can tell you that for sure. Addressable LED stuff is way out there. It's like the cutting edge of new tech when it comes to custom lighting. And so that kind of opens you up to a whole can of worms that things can fail and you're on the hook for it. So Jay's advice about under promise, over deliver, I think that's pretty smart. I think you should definitely keep Addressable as tinkering and learning for quite some time before you start running out there and taking everybody's money, if you're gonna do anything better than slapping strips into place. We're gonna talk about Jay's work. We're gonna show his WRX. He did a jewel eye. So it's like demon eyes that are addressable RGB LED, the sea lights addressable RGB LED, like everything's crazy. He did some amazing things, and he even filmed himself to share with you. So I'm trying to get you guys out of your comfort zone and start getting in front of the camera. like my silly ass. Addressable is crazy. Check out the links below. I'm gonna put some other stuff down there that I think are decent resources for you. And again, big shout out to Dan and Kyle over at Ghozt Lighting. Check out the Blue Ghozt. It's brilliant. We're gonna talk more about this. And if you give this video a thumbs up, it's gonna tell me that I should keep making more addressable LED lightings. I'll see you guys next time.